So, I learned earlier today that the next remaster project in the Tales of series is Tales of Berseria, and a lot of Tales fans are just going nuclear over this announcement. Why? Is Tales of Berseria a bad game? Absolutely not. Well, it's not on my top Tales game list as Vesperia, Symphonia, and Bozilla games are better. It's still a really great game. Velvet Crow's quest for revenge against the person who killed her brother and stole her humanity and turned her into a demon is a good one, filled with great characters, a lot of really great comedic bits, along with some really sad, moving, dramatic ones. And the English voice cast with Christina Venezuela playing the lead does a knockout job on this. The problem with the announcement that this is the next game coming out comes down to good old timing. Here's the problem. Not counting the remasters, you only have to go back 2 whole games to get to Berseria, and unlike a lot of Tales games, Berseria is easy enough to find. You don't have to wait for the remaster, kids, unless you're gaming only on the Switch. Hell, if you own a decent PC, chances are you can probably find it on sale this Christmas for $5 on either Steam or some key seller site like Humble Bundle or Fanatical. With that said, even though it's only 2 back, it's been a year since release, and while yes, the PS4 was HD, some things have come along since then, like 4K, HDR, and most games nowadays requiring 60 frames per second support. And now that our TVs can do all these fancy stuff, people are willing to spend the money to have their games look good. It's why I bought the Switch 2 despite having no exclusive games. I picked one up just because it plays my Switch 1 games with some of these features, better frame rate, better looking game. So yes, there is room for remastering this title. But again, the problem is Berseria is easy to find. There are a lot of Tale games that aren't. I did a video about a year and a half ago when these games were being pulled off the PS3 store, but before the remaster project was announced. What pissed me off isn't that they were pulling it off a 20-year-old console very few people play anymore. It's that Namco Bandai does not upgrade or keep these things easily made available. Think of it like this. Can you play classic Dragon Quest or Final Fantasy games on a modern-day console and or mobile device? The answer is yes. And when I did that video, I brought this up that every classic Final Fantasy game can be played either on a console or mobile device, and there's only one classic Dragon Quest game that can't be played, and that is Dragon Quest VII. And oh, wait, look what Square Enix just announced a couple of months ago. Dragon Quest VII being remade again. A lot of Tales fans, including me, want Tales games that we can't find easily enough anymore or never had a chance to play be on the top of that list and first up for remastered. And if you're going, well, Tommy, just get a classic PS1 or PS2, which I do still have, guys, and then just pick up the game there. Well, there's issues. Either A, they were never released worldwide, or B, if they were released in the USA, in order to get these older Tales of games, I would need to start negotiations starting off with selling off one of my kidneys. They're super expensive. Several $100s to get used copies on some of these PS1 titles. They are just screaming for a remaster and re-release. Instead, we get one that most of the audience can easily pick up and play on the same consoles that Bandai Namco are releasing the remasters for. The only people who can get excited are those who are only playing on the Switch because they don't have access to this otherwise great game. Because every other Tale fan has already procured, or if they want it, to get it for less than $10 if they want a physical copy. So good job, Namco Bandai. If you ask me, if they're trying to stick and slowly go back and play it safe and just stick to the 3D ones first, and then release the PS1 once there's hype, the next one should have been Tales of the Abyss. That one released in November 2006, about a week or two from the release of both the PS3 and Wii, And that kind of just sucked the oxygen out of the room for it. And I think having an HD release during a time where it can be seen and properly appreciated would benefit. I warn those who haven't played that game, you will be playing as the biggest pain in the ass to ever lead a JRPG. There won't be 5 minutes where you don't want to reach for the screen and slap this guy, but the side characters are best in any Tales game, and that includes the comic relief, who isn't some quirky young thang, but rather an old, bitter, and very sarcastic military officer. He's freaking hilarious, and just the fact that he has to put up with the main character, Luke, and just him being a giant pain just makes the game perfect if he can get over the main character being a complete ass. So in the end, do I think Tales of Berseria deserves a remaster? Yes, but it should have been the last one on the list. After Abyss, after Legendia, after Tales of Destiny, after a Fantasia port. Then you can get to remastering Zestiria and Berseria. In the meantime, Bandai Namco, enjoy the type of fury only Velvet Crow can manifest coming from the Tales of community because it's well deserved, you nimwits. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. My name's Tommy the Game Master. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment on what your thoughts are of Berseria being the next remaster.